Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, episode 42.
Is that true?
It's Gameanon time.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
We're doing it live.
We are.
Fuck it.
It's Joel, also known as the Experienced Noob, with talk show host.
Hey, man. How's it going?
And the one and only Gunnar Lamb Larson.
How you guys doing?
And Zach's in the house, too. He's just sort of
Yeah,
hanging.
I'm back here.
He's up
Thanks
in the
for coming, Zach.
grandstand.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Wow, so it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Since we last spoke, it was our 2-year anniversary.
Yep.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Happy birthday.
We're still friends after 2 years.
Yep. We talked to almost nobody that we used to a year ago.
Yeah, so I guess we're evolving.
Yeah, let's what are we gonna kick it off though? What do we got there, Joel? Humble Bundle store shout out.
I just put this
here?
on here on our outline to give a shout out. I wanted to start out with some shout outs to,
Booyah.
for one thing, all the cool followers on Twitter at Gameanon Podcast and people who have emailed us. We've gotten a lot of submissions from a lot of indie game developers, and I've played through a couple of things that I found in our email box. That I'll mention later on in the show.
I'm glad you're checking that still.
Nice
that's
to know
the thing.
somebody is.
We've been doing so much other stuff, and we've been so busy that I knew we had not checked it in a very
We've been
long time.
so busy.
Right.
Well, full-time jobs and
Yes.
finding other jobs. Real life gets in the way of this.
Yes.
But you know how it goes.
Yeah, life's not actually like the movies. You can't just kill yourself to make your problems go away.
Yeah. Well,
True.
no, and that's why we can't do a podcast every single week, because sometimes real life gets in the way. You know how it goes. But
Right.
But it's cool because in between all the hustle and bustle of real life problems, we have Humble Bundle sales.
Yes.
Booyah.
So back to the Humble Bundle thing. I just wanted to give a shout out to them because they're a very cool store, online store.
I bought stuff from them.
HumbleBundle.org.
Is that a tongue twister?
It is a bit.
Humble Bundle.
Humble Bundle?
They basically, what their deal is they give out, they'll get independent artists, and a lot of it is game developers, but they also have book bundles or comic book bundles where they allow like a large portion of the profits sold through this store to be donated to a bunch of different really good charities.
Uh-huh.
They do it really cheaply, and then they'll say, here's the Humble Bundle, and some of it will be free, and you can make it. It's a suggested donation. They just change it up about once a week or once every 2 weeks, and it's like, here's your free games. Please donate something. And then they say, if you pay more than the average person paid, which is normally like $7 or $8,
Which is probably like inflated 300%.
well, I mean, okay. Even if it is, you're getting like a bunch of different cool indie games for
Right,
$8
That's cool.
and helping good charities. Shout out to Humble Bundle, and go do it. Also wanted to bring up that we've been doing a lot of videos.
Heyo.
Videos.
And we talked a long time ago about YouTube, and now
Probably about 2 years ago.
exactly. And now that we're finally getting into it, like I can tell that we're all like really, really excited about it.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about doing. Obviously, what's on there now is we got a Hotline Miami 2 review, first impressions video.
Woot woot.
We did one. Me and Joel did one for Heroes and Generals, another cool free game that I want to talk about later in the show. I also made some kind of intro to multiplayer guides for StarCraft and Hearthstone that are on there already, and I will be doing more games, just like kind of getting your friends into these games. What are the best like intro things that you need to know about it? And Zach actually helped me out with that last night in Insurgency, because getting back into first-person shooters on PC has been a challenge for me, but it's been fun.
It's been cool.
So
I reviewed some free-to-play games that are on Steam.
right,
Some horror games.
Passing Pineview Forest.
Yeah, it's an
and
interesting game.
What else?
Boring Man.
Boring Man was
Boring
like
Man.
the stick fighter game.
The Stick Fighter. What else? There's also a game, in case our listeners are curious on how to have sex, there is a game about that, where you play as an 11-year-old
Yeah.
little girl, so let
Yeah.
your imagination run wild with that one.
We did
it.
We also did kind of a
Jesus
overview video to go with our podcast review we did, I think, last episode or the one before it on Firefall. I think that was the last episode.
Yes, sir.
So check out that game on there. And
There's a Behemoth Castle Crashers
well,
giveaway, apparently.
What? I just wanted to I wanted to give a shout out to the Behemoth because they had a giveaway and I won the giveaway.
Oh, shit.
So I got a free Steam copy of Castle Crashers. So
Excellent
I will
game.
review that game. I told them, I posted them back or messaged them back and saying, dude, Battle Block Theater was one one of my
They made
favorite
Black
games,
Theater.
and they just said, "Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy Castle Crashers."
That's really
Castle Crashers.
We've not been drinking today.
The tongue twisters today are chuff.
Right.
Chuff. They are chuff. Speaking of chuff, today's episode is sponsored by 312.
312. Urban Wheat Ale, now made in Colorado. Fuckers.
But brewed and bottled in New York. How did that work?
Or something
We
like
don't
that,
know.
right? I know. It's a Chicago beer, and it's not even...
That's not even
Hey,
brewed.
they sold out to someone with deep pockets. Wouldn't you do the same thing?
Oh, there's video game companies.
Oh,
that do that.
totally. If Microsoft said, hey, we'll give you $2 billion for Gameanon, they'd be done.
Absolutely, I would too.
Later, bros.
Well,
A lot of people do that.
the three of us have to come to an agreement, and I feel that would be selling us a little short.
Well,
I completely agree.
Twitch sold out
Yeah, right. To Amazon, yeah.
for a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, and does anyone use Twitch
So
anymore?
did
Ah,
Minecraft.
that's so like 4 days ago.
Duh.
Ayo.
Anyways,
Games.
So should we jump? You want to jump into some hot topics before we get into the games?
Okay, what game? What hot topic?
like the store.
What do you like?
I haven't been in a Hot Topic store in close to probably
Dude, you want to talk about Hot Topic?
13 years.
Let's just talk about Hot Topic.
I finally unsubscribed to their emails that they've been giving me for the last like 6 years. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And I couldn't figure out how to do it. And then it's like, oh, here we go. Like, oh, okay, thank you for not sending me emails anymore because I'm not in 8th grade. So
Damn.
yeah, I don't shop there anymore.
I don't think people go to malls anymore.
Are you a scene kid?
No, back when
Anymore?
I was a scene kid, yeah.
Have the Gameanon listeners seen your driver's license photo?
Yeah,
No,
I was just thinking
post
this.
that online.
That picture needs to get on the internet.
And
That was on
one-
Eric and Kathy's website.
That was on a
Yes.
legitimate radio program.
Yeah, right. They actually they made a comment about my hair.
I'm gonna need you to tweet out some pictures of you with long hair back in
Do
the
it.
day.
Yeah, it's an awful, atrocious mess.
Okay.
But the
Thanks for
makeup
putting
made
up
it
with
all
me.
better.
Right.
Okay.
Oh boy.
What hot topic
Anyways.
do you like?
Let's go. Let's start with number 2. We'll go. I want to jump into Steam machines, but let's kick it off. Nintendo decided, this is like kind of not old news, but since you only get your news from Gameanon, you would have no idea.
Duh. And all news is news. 'cause
All
it's
news.
new.
It's more about opinion.
Right.
It's new. Yeah,
Opinion
right.
and discussion.
Nintendo decided after everybody poked and prodded them about going mobile, they said, no, we're not doing it. That's ridiculous. And then they said, yeah, we're going to do it. But they're partnering with another company. I forget the name, but I think if Joe clicked on the link and opened up a new tab, I could check it. But they're partnering with the second one.
Oh, there it
They're
is.
partnering with a company, I believe, called Idina. I believe that's how it's pronounced. To make some exclusive mobile
I think
games.
it's DNA.
DNA, yes it is. Yep. That's how they did
Well
it.
played. Well played. I didn't even think of that.
English, I'm hooked on it.
Well, it's,
English,
it's
you're
interesting
good.
that like basically the two companies bought stock in each other,
Yeah.
and so they're pretty much tied to each other's success now. And I'm sure
Yeah.
Nintendo will have a huge hand in the creation of said games.
As they do with every single thing that's got their name on it. But I do find it interesting because it's not just going to be Mario 64 on your iPhone, on your iPhone or whatever. That's not what it's going to be. They're actually
Like, not
creating.
iPhone?
They're
you're not
creating.
Android.
They're creating your favorite childhood titles, but they're making them pay to play. They're bringing them up to this century.
We don't know that. We don't know
do
that,
know
but-
that. I
but-
guarantee.
What are the odds? What are the odds?
To unlock a star in Super Mario World or something, you're going to have to pay $1.99 or wait like a 7
They're already
cooldown.
doing it with Pokemon
See?
puzzle something.
Gotta
It's some
collect them
fucking
all.
puzzle game, and you can't play if you fail the level too much. You have to wait a cooldown, or you can give them money. But regardless of what they do, I don't know. It's interesting because they're finally going to be Nintendo's finally going to maybe. But they're going to another platform. Maybe they'll do it right and make some really cool mobile games because I have played some good mobile stuff in my time. It's few and far between, and I don't play mobile games anymore anyway. But
Well, I mean, it makes sense because they've realized, I think, in the past that their hardware sucks. So let's like do what they do best and stick to making games and let
Great
someone
games,
else
yeah.
deliver it on
Yeah.
their own hardware, which we already have, iPhones, iPads, or whatever.
I think
Yeah.
it's because they don't understand how to work an online platform very well.
that too.
And this other company does,
Yeah.
except it happens to be on a mobile online platform.
Yeah.
So that's where they're going with them.
But mobile gaming is still pretty damn big. So I mean, I see the appeal, but I think like you said, I think it's a good. I think it's a good move. I really do, and I hope that it goes well for them. I hope it's not a cash grab, but with the whole Candy Crush or
But all
whatever.
signs are pointing towards yes.
Well, it's every game, even mobile games, are put out to make money in
Oh,
some
true,
way. But it's just like Do you think they'll charge an upfront price, or do you think they'll put in-game items in?
Oh, I'm sure it'll be a mix.
I would say though, I would rather there be like a pay-to-play aspect versus ads all over the game.
Oh God,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Or I would pay $10 for the game to not have stupid ads that my fat thumbs are going to hit every 2 minutes, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it'll be interesting to see because, like, say it was like they just ported over Mario 64. Well, say every time you got into a level or got out of a level, you have to watch an ad. You know, I mean, that'd be pretty bogus. I'd rather give them money up front just for.
Or what they do is, if you beat the level in under a minute, then you skip the ad.
Incentive. There you go. See, we should be making video games.
I'm telling you, we will be.
We will be. We will be.
Top secret.
No,
Dun, 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 dun.
I won't be. I'll just be video.
Riding on our coattails.
No, I just don't have the desire to make a video game. Like, I don't have that desire to like sink my entire mind into the same thing for like 2-3 years all at the same time. You know what I mean?
Well, thank God.
What's WoW and StarCraft?
Nintendo's doing it for us.
That's the thing, though. It's not just WoW and StarCraft that I play. I play
Right.
a ton of different games.
You would be devoting your time to like one specific thing. For
and I would end up hating it immediately.
So is creating any beautiful art, right? And you
sometimes
put
torturous.
Yeah. Sometimes you hate it.
Yeah.
But anyway, some other things though. Steam machines, I don't know. We talked about this before. Fuck Steam machines. I think
about
it's
it a year ago.
the dumbest thing on the
We've
planet.
all owned them before, and we are all currently own Steam machines.
I've owned a couple in my lifetime.
Yep. In fact, my first one I think was in like 1994.
Yeah, they're pretty terrible. Yeah. I really don't see the incentive. I mean, I guess even if you were to like defend it and say, well, it's entry level PC gaming.
No, that's what consoles are.
Yeah. Now consoles are
entry
there.
level gaming, and PC is for the evolved gamer who has mental capacity to be able to handle complex maneuvers like a multi-function keyboard versus like a 12-button controller.
True. Yeah. I don't know. It's just dumb. I think I'd rather spend my money on a Steam machine, on a computer. Fuck Steam. But
well, it's a bunch of like pre-made computers, right? But
right.
Zach, what did you think about the quality of them? I mean, or what they were charging for them?
I think it's fine.
Yeah,
I have no problem with Steam machines.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a fine idea.
In my opinion, they appear to
computer.
be overpriced. Some of them, but there's so many.
I'm sure some of them are. Yeah.
I don't understand how they're like. Are they trying to be? What's that rack going to look like next to Xbox and PlayStation in some sort of big box store? It's going to be like a bunch of random stuff.
Well, what are they going to do? Are they going to be try to be the Apple of fucking video games?
They'll sell it all in one box. It's probably going to look like a console box, just like a big ass.
Have you seen them? I mean, they all look. They have like. To be honest,
controller's fucking hideous.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm very wary about that controller. Even buying it now. The only thing out of all this, hi Jerry.
Hi Jerry.
Jerry the kitty.
Gerald.
The only decent thing out of this that came from it is like I think it's Play. It's the streaming thing where it's basically like a USB device that you can plug into your either TV.
Go on, cat.
Get out of here, boy.
What is the streaming thing? Like stream.
That I don't know. I didn't really look into it too much. I just looked at the specs of one or two of them that were like being advertised. They look okay,
I just don't. I don't know who their target audience is.
That's
like,
what
exactly.
I think.
That's what I'm saying.
it's like gamers who play PC games already own gaming PCs, and my next gaming PC is going to be a custom PC that I continue to build, which we've done for years. Why would I want to spend the money? Right. And then any smart parent, if Liam was 13 years old and was like, I want a Steam machine, I'll be like, you can save your own damn money for that because we have a gaming computer, or we have a computer that will do games just as good, if not better, than what, and more. So it's like, I don't really get like who their like target audience is.
Well, their audience is already hardcore PC gamers, obviously, because you have it. So what are you trying to... And people that don't really play a lot on Steam don't know a ton about Steam, and don't... So what are they going to go out and buy some brand new console? Like, no.
A lot of like hardcore gamers, I think maybe definitely not all of them, but I'd say a vast majority of them are going to enjoy building computers though as well. They're not just gamers, but they're into computers. They're into like electronics.
Right.
I love building computers because it's cool. Not just because I enjoy gaming. I'm not building it because of gaming. I'm building it because it's enjoyable. Right. And I think that takes away from the gaming experience if you're going to build your own rig. I mean, I knew like how excited I was the first time I was able to go to the store and piece together my own gaming computer. Like, you can't get any more personalized than that.
Well, having an awesome like computer that you built yourself is almost similar to like people who work on cars.
Yeah,
or like
building a
customizing
car,
cars.
you have an end result.
That's the whole like thing about it, and it's fun where it's like pre-packaged proprietary software like PlayStation 4 and Xbox, all that stuff. It's it's not as appealing for somebody who wants to get into PC gaming.
If you're not into the computer aspect of things, and you really are tired, if you've grown up, you've moved from like diapers to pull-ups, and you've evolved from consoles, and you decide that you want to play like on a PC, but you're not really into like computers because you're actually still like a Madden player. You only play Call of Duty and Madden, so naturally you're not going to have the brain power.
But you want the updated graphical.
But you want to have that NVIDIA 980 graphics card that you have no fucking idea what it does. Then you'd go out and buy your little Steam box. But I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Even then, I still just don't get it because it's like if you're at that level, if PlayStation 4 really doesn't look good enough for you and you're at that level, then which is ridiculous, then get the money and get a PC, something that actually does a bunch of stuff. Like, what, you really need something that makes, I mean, what, I can't even, not to say the consoles are, I mean, consoles now, though, PS4 and Xbox One, like, it's close to, like the computer I bought, or like even like yours, like, how much better can you really get? And what you're really going to go spend money on a proprietary fucking Steam machine?
You're spending money to be restricted to only playing games on that
which
unit?
is what a console is. Like,
exactly. When you can spend the same amount of money on any other computer that will allow you to play those exact same games just as well, but also check email. Also, do all this other shit.
That's what I think Steam machines are going for. But are they going to only run a Steam operating system, or are they run Windows?
The Steam OS,
now, it's just the Steam OS.
I don't know. Why would you?
So I'm sure they'll integrate. They'll have like an email browser and all this shit. But what are you really trying to do? Are you really going to say that you have the balls to now try to compete against Windows?
I think.
Yeah.
Like, remember when we talked about this a year ago? I went back to you were saying Steam was basically, not trying to tell PC gamers to buy these instead of a new PC, but they were trying to distance themselves from Windows for future, future
which
whatever.
Is cool.
Which is cool. I mean, if they think about it, what do we use the computers for? 95% of us are using computers for gaming, for YouTube, watching videos, streaming of any sort of like Netflix or videos or whatever, iTunes, Spotify. Maybe work, but I mean our own personal computers are at home mainly.
Oh yeah.
So then, if like you can buy the Steam box, and like they're going to separate themselves from your actual Windows operating system because they're going to have everything in there you want. Yeah. They'll have eventually Netflix support. I mean, they're trying to gain momentum now to get support from all these other affiliates.
My PC has that support already.
Exactly.
It's already there.
Exactly. So why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? You need to come out with something a little bit more genuine than a computer. I mean, okay, so yes, you came up with a great business idea of reselling other people's games. That was smart, but you can't do that when it comes to hardware because you got to come up with something a little more innovative than what's already being done.
Like almost like an app. Like, are you trying to do what Apple did with digital? iTunes is a behemoth, obviously. It's where most people buy their music. They did something right, but then Steam achieved that with PC games. It's basically where you buy your PC games. You don't go to GameStop and buy a fucking PC game. So they did that, and now what are they trying to do like an Apple Watch approach? Like, hey, you got a watch now. We're gonna, and according to the reviews, whatever, maybe Apple's got something here. But it's like, I see it's very similar to what Apple has done or is doing right now, but they're successful with it though. They've been successful with reinventing stuff we already have, or they did invent the touchscreen phone and the iPod, but like Steam, it seems like I don't see how this could be successful. I just don't. There's how are you going to win
Apple's
that market
successful
over?
because they have a good marketing department, and Steam is nowhere near.
I think a lot of gamers get hung up on going into PC because remember I talked to those kids at the PlayStation 4 launch, and they were like, "It's just too complicated, But I can relate to in terms of. What you're basically doing is playing with Legos, except each part costs $80+, possibly hundreds of dollars. So for me, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the store, have this awesome experience where I tell the guy what I'm trying to do and what kind of PC I'm trying to build and what I'm using it for. I kind of had the parts in mind and know what they're capable of from doing research ahead of time. And then, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but yeah, it's just like, I would rather pay somebody $70 or whatever they want to charge to put it together for me.
Right, yeah.
Because I don't, like, I could stress for 6 to 8 hours looking up videos on YouTube and getting everything exactly right. But I don't want to do it. I don't want to, like, honestly, I'd rather have someone who has done it a ton before just do it for me, because I know they'll do it right and do it really well.
Right.
That doesn't register in most gamers' minds. They don't think like, oh, I can just have someone do it for me. They think, oh, now I have to do it, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
They don't accept to have someone help them out.
Whereas getting a PS4 is a lot easier. Yeah.
Exactly. And then it's just like, okay,
Well,
in the box, plug and play.
It's dummy proof. It's the Fisher Price of gaming.
Pretty much, yes. Consoles are. It wasn't always this way, but once PC gaming kind of came
Once the
into
internet
existence,
happened.
right? Especially once online gaming took off. Yeah.
Even so, though, I also like. I guess to kind of close this out, so we move on to something else. Like, so you're gonna make, I guess somewhat. I hate to use the word proprietary, but it's the only one I can think of. Like proprietary little like, Steam machines. Okay, so you're gonna do that. When it comes down to like exclusive, when it comes down to the real games, the reason why we fucking play, the amount of exclusives and blockbuster titles are significantly in console's favor over PC, no matter what. I mean, there's just hear me out. There's tons of games that are released either on both platforms or just which kind of goes to your like Arkham City, like or the new Arkham Batman game. I'm not going to buy it on my PC because I know my PC can't handle it. I'm going to buy it on PS4. It's easier for me. I'm glad. I mean, it could, but it'll look prettier.
Not on Super Ultra.
Which my PS4 will play it on Super Ultra, and that's fine. So that's why I'll get it on that.
But PS4 Super Ultra is to medium setting, or maybe high.
That would
on
take,
PC.
but I don't know. I don't know about that. That takes some sort of like fact checking, but. I mean, I'm not going to just say that the PlayStation 4 is better than the PC. I mean, I definitely think, nice PC. I mean, I'd rather
have
that out.
A bigger experience.
I just don't have the money.
Much bigger screen,
Gunner,
and it'll look really
true.
nice.
Here's the thing, Gunner. Yes, exactly.
If you have that going.
If this is what I'm leaning towards, more buying for PC always, because if I buy it for PC and then I happen to upgrade in the future my monitor, or my graphics or my processor, now the game is that much better with it. Whereas the game will only stay the same capability. Pretty much when you buy it on console at that level, and a game like Skyrim,
and the fact that consoles every generation, it seems, the games aren't necessarily backwards compatible. And the reason I say this, and I'm kind of like, it's kind of weird situation right now, is I just bought Grand Theft Auto 5, the pre-order for it for PC.
It's out, I think.
It comes out on Tuesday.
Oh.
But I already bought Grand Theft Auto 5 on PlayStation 3. On PlayStation 3 because it wasn't even out, because PlayStation 4 wasn't even out yet. So
you know what happened to you, Joel?
I got fucked. I got duped in the console fucking.
You got caught up in the hype, and this happens. Gunner got caught up in the hype with Titanfall and bought an Xbox One. We all get caught up in the hype of games, and we spend money that we shouldn't.
Right.
Or we pre-order when we really don't need to. But honestly, we were talking about the pre-ordering thing. We could go back into that another time. I think we should bring up that again in the future. But anyway, did you guys want to did you have any final thoughts?
Well,
I think we should take a break.
I guess we'll take a break after this. But I guess what I wanted to get at before was just arguably we'll know when Batman comes out. But I guarantee you would need a really awesome, we'll see because there's websites that dedicate, they do the split screen shit where they show it on PC, Xbox One, PS4, and whatever, and you get to see what's better looking, whatever. For me personally, it's just easier for me to just buy it for PS4 because I want to play it the best that I can, and I'm not going to go spend extra money on my PC. Just personally, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, whatever. But it's if they're going to release their own proprietary thing, it's what do you think? You think any game developer is going to come and, they're not going to release specifically for Steam consoles, or Steam machines. There's not going to be any games that come out that are particular. So once again, it drives in.
Games might be.
Maybe, but even so, if they did that, it would be. I mean, that would
Fortress,
be
bro.
Yeah,
Team Fortress 3.
Yeah, you can play Team Fortress 3
Steam
or
Box
2, Half-Life. Yeah, see, and then if they go into that bullshit, it's then you're even alienating them even more.
Valve is not going to say Steam machine exclusive.
But once again, you don't. It's a system that they're making this system, and then it's what do you? I can just play all the same games on my regular PC. You know, if there was something to say, hey, it's only coming out on the Steam machine, or it's only coming out on PlayStation, or it's only coming out on Xbox One, that's what gets people to buy those systems. But it's like, so how are you going to sucker me into buying a Steam machine? You're going to say, oh, it's only on PC. Oh, I should pick up a Steam machine. No, it's on fucking PC. I'll play it on my PC. You know?
That I
So
already have. Yeah, I mean, I think the moral of the story is
there's no exclusive.
I want to know. I guess I want to know who their target audience is. I want to know who this is for.
A thought. I was just thinking about it. You know, we were talking about in the car the software development programs. You know, they have like animation programs for like game developers and such. I wonder if those would work on that. Because that's an interesting idea, you know. If
Steam's workshop stuff, I'm sure would.
And I was actually looking at the prices because the only ones I looked at were like $1,000. You know what I mean? I spent between $1,000 and like $2,000 on my computer. $2,000.
Yeah.
Spent $2,000 on my computer. Which I probably, you know, I wouldn't do that again anytime soon. You know, 5-6 years. You know, but some of the prices were like, you know, low, $400, $500. I didn't look at the specs.
Those are for like Farmville.
I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how much $500 gets you. Because if $500 gets you a gaming rig comparable to PS3 or
yeah, but I think
PS4
the
or
cheapest
whatever,
one you're getting like an
pretty good.
i5 processor. What gamer wants an i5 processor?
Those are fine.
Yeah,
they're fine right now. Yeah.
No, I got
a recent one, but yeah. Thing works really well, dude.
They work okay.
Enjoyable.
Again, some of them had there was really bad ones that had i3s, but that's the thing. Like you see them in each different manufacturer. Like some of them are like you're not like you're saying they're not getting enough for their money, and some of them you really are getting a pretty good deal.
Right.
So it's really varied. I'm not sure how it'll end out. You know, a year from now when everything's out, and we'll definitely
it'll be interesting.
We'll definitely be talking about
on
Steam
our 3-year
machines
anniversary. I'm sure we'll have a
year
lot more
from
to talk
now.
about.
Yeah, and there's even a more philosophical thing to it where it almost is like, well, do I need to fucking play new Batman or new Elder Scrolls game on super fucking high ultra i7 processor, Titan graphics card? Is the game that much better on that?
Yes,
or if it was still arguably like, okay, fine, but that's one opinion. But then the other time it's like, well, can't you just enjoy the fucking game in clear 1080p with a 760 graphics card? Yes, you fucking can. And the game just so there's a deeper philosophical thing here, and like the Steam machine is no fucking answer, and it is. I don't know. I think it's awful.
You know what the answer is? Oculus Rift.
That's not bad for a gamer.
And more on that later.
Or Steam VR.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I just saw that on there.
Fuck that.
All right, quick break.
Exclusive to
Quick
the
break,
Steam
gentlemen.
box.
Quick break, and then we'll actually talk about some video games.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
And we're back! It's Gameanon, episode 42.
Oh boy.
Glad to be back.
That was pleasant.
Welcome back, bitches.
We're talking about some games.
Let's do it. Which
Video
game?
juegos.
How about...
That's Espanole for video games.
Joe, you want to kick it off? We haven't heard a ton from you. Let's hear Boring Man and Passing Ponte Forest. And maybe some Gunpoint if you want to give us like a...
Pew, pew, pew,
Yeah,
pew.
give us a pew 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 on all three of them.
All right, well, what do you guys want to hear about first? Because let me tell you, they are all incredibly exciting in their own right.
How about Gunpoint?
Gunpoint.
We've recommended it to you.
Okay,
a lot.
so Gunpoint has been really cool. So I had never really had a good tutorial on it. Like, I just was told to get it, and I played it, and I was like, meh. But Carlito was over the other day.
We've been coming over here more often, doing the YouTubes.
Yeah, he
doing the voiceovers.
does the tubes.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to call it. So he came over and he showed me Gunpoint again, and it's fucking awesome. Like, this game is pretty sick. Like, it's pretty cool because what I like about it is that it's like addicting to play, but I don't need to invest a lot of time into it. Like, I can just do one like level if I want to, or one mission, whatever they call it, and be done with it if I want to.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them take only minutes to complete, but they're obviously getting a lot harder. But I mean, it's been pretty cool. I don't remember. That game wasn't free, right? I think we paid for that.
No, it was. I think I paid $5.
Yeah, it wasn't expensive. I don't.
No, it's very
cheap.
very cheap game, but great game. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I've only played less than an hour of it so far. So I mean, but first impressions are it's really what I'm looking for right now for quick pick me ups.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm into. Is like you don't have much time these days, so it's like when you have 30 minutes, I could do that.
And I think it does autosave in the levels too. Like when you die, you can choose to spawn like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, or 10 seconds back.
That's really cool. I really like that.
And it doesn't interrupt you so much from the puzzle. You know, you're still in the puzzle, and
your brain is still there.
And you have to complete it. You know, there's no workaround. You just have to do it correctly or figure it out.
Right.
But what I was telling Joel about this game is I love about it is that there's never only one solution to a puzzle. There's always multiple workarounds.
Right.
Almost all the time. Like maybe in the first couple levels, there's like one way so that they can demonstrate something about it. I love the items. Joel, you haven't gotten into all of them yet, but there's like a item. You saw the item and kind of leveling up system in the game. Makes it really cool. Great puzzle game and like really fun, amazing soundtrack. Like,
very cool music, very
soundtrack.
cool.
And Gunnar, you said it's very similar to Counter-Spy. Are you talking about that? I don't want to divert away from my other two epic games.
Well, we can move around.
Gunnar,
we'll move around. I guess, it's on the... I posted a review on it. It was one of last month's disappointing free games on PSN Plus. Yeah. And, it's almost like the same concept. It's
Can you be disappointed in a free game, though?
Oh, totally.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Wasted my time downloading it.
Remember, you get what you pay for, though.
Remember, it's not free. It's with subscription. This is not... He paid money for the game.
I guess.
Kind of.
And if he stops paying money, he doesn't have the game anymore.
But I can get it back.
So you're paying like $2 a month or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, regardless. I don't know. Regardless.
Anyway,
like, it's
the game itself.
It's similar. It's not puzzly like Gunpoint at all. It's more based around the shooting and the, I guess, tactical approach to getting from point A to point B, but it falls completely short. Like, it has a very somewhat similar like shop system that Gunpoint has. There's upgrades.
Is that why you're relating it? Because every time I talk about it, you mentioned that.
Well, I just said like better spy stuff at the end of the review, and I said I wanted to point out 3 games that were, if you like spy stuff, that are better, and one of them was Gunpoint. You know, like, I guess you call him a spy. Yeah, basically a spy.
Yeah, spy.
Way better. You know, alternative. I forget the other 2 games that I said. Team Fortress 2. The spy in Team Fortress 2 is way cooler than the guy in Counter Spy, and Team Fortress 2 is a much
better game,
better built machine, well-oiled machine than Counter Spy is.
Fair enough.
And Splinter Cell Blacklist. That's what so it's like, not to put it on a pedestal. Those games, or not to say that like it has to live up to those games. You know what they did.
For what it's worth, was it decent?
I mean, no, I really don't think so. It was just the load times are like borderline Bloodborne load times, but the quality of game is significantly less. And then, it like teases you initially in the beginning with all this awesome like Cold War propaganda stuff and like TF2 art style or
some
whatever.
Cool intro videos, but then it's totally not delivered upon in the game
not
whatsoever.
At all. Not at all.
Just
There's
like
a lot of bugs.
It's like a side-scrolling shooter gallery thing. Yeah. And I noticed when I said I was watching my nephew play it, they just throw in countdowns at random points in the game, and it's just like something's counting down. You know why it's counting down or what you're supposed to get to, really. It's like, get to the alarm, but they don't tell you where.
Was your nephew enjoying it?
No, he was not.
Even, all right, I was wondering if
he was like,
he's
what is going on with this? Like, where am I supposed to go?
I don't know. It's a mess. There's a lot of graphical bugs, and like it does some things okay, but I don't know. They like beat a dead horse eventually, because it's like you're in these same fucking levels that look almost exactly the same, but with some stuff rearranged. It just, I don't know. It's not at all what I thought it was, because I was intrigued initially, and then after a couple hours with it, I was just like, wow, this is fucking boring.
The only thing I will give them credit for is having a 2D game where you, at some point in it, switch to a 3D setting.
Yeah.
That's really cool, and I think that's one thing that was really amazing about Fez.
Yeah.
But this game, that's like barely doing anything in terms of this game.
Yeah, they have some really interesting uses of perspective and like how you change the camera around, but like there's an awesome foundation here in Counter Spy. Like, there's a really awesome one, but unfortunately they didn't build upon it well. There's something there great, but it's not.
That's really common across the board in games these days. Is like game developers are going to come out with like one really cool aspect or component of a game, but fall short on everything else. And it's like, because you fell short on everything else, that makes your cool feature like shit. I mean, I'm sorry, because it like it's just overwhelming failure around it.
The Order 1886, like
it's
the
gorgeous game.
Looks incredible, but there's nothing to it. There's no game to it.
Yeah, the Order is like a testament to like how gorgeous a PS4 game can possibly be, or could be, or even if it can look better, this is still like, wow, we've never seen a game like this. But everything else underneath it is just boring. There's literally a wiener in that fucking game.
Well,
does that offend you, or were you confused if you were watching a porno?
No, it doesn't. But it's like it's weird.
Dick in here.
Not to say
Did
that
your
it's
pee get a little?
No, it didn't. No, I didn't. And I never saw the actual scene. I never played the game. But
you just watched the scene on YouTube. That's how you know.
Yeah, over and over.
A few times.
Just made sure that I saw it.
Not in a gay way.
You had to confirm.
I had to confirm the penis, the said penis.
I've seen gameplay videos. Sans dick. And literally, all that happens is you get to a certain point in the story, and you have to press a button.
Yeah.
And if you don't press the button, it just stops.
There's a great explanation of Honest Game Trailers. Really tells you all about the order.
Shout out to Honest Game.
Honest Game Trailers. Do that. Go there. They'll tell you about the order. It's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
But
Carl, all right. So if we're mixing this about, Carl, then you played Heroes in General. This is a game I want to hear your opinions on. It's a game that I told you about that I never actually really played. I played like 15 minutes about. I wanted to play more, but
Joel was like, "Oh, you got to try this game out. I've
never played it
at all, but you should download it.
But it looks awesome. It has potential."
And I did download it and play it, and we did a video on it.
So what is Joel missing?
Okay, no, you played it a little bit.
I played it.
You saw my video of it.
True.
You know what it is like.
It's
basically like a World War II era first-person shooter on PC. It's a free-to-play game, but it is, for a free game, one of the best free game experiences I've had.
Compared to Firefall?
I'd say it's similar, because Firefall I was really into, and I think it got a little repetitive. I think Heroes in General, there's a lot more depth. Like, you will have to level up to unlock the different aspects of it, but the leveling is not so bad. It's not super slow, I've noticed. It's just exactly what I wanted, like what we were talking about, like a first-person shooter set in World War II, and it is that to a T.
Because World at War was really the last memorable one that I can think of.
And we were nostalgizing about that game, and like, oh man, like, do you remember how fun that game was, and how, like, it was so fun to use those weapons and be in those settings.
And then I was reminded about its failure when it completely bugged out while I was playing my campaign. So Heroes in General sounded pretty cool.
This is why you don't play Call of Duty games for single player campaign.
Yeah,
no one should do that.
You can't complete them
anyway. Literally, because
there's no ending. In fact, users will fail randomly.
We've all made the mistake. Gunnar, maybe you haven't, of trying to play the.
You have to own a PC to get these mistakes.
No.
They're not exclusive to.
No. People make the mistake of playing the single player in either Battlefield or Call of Duty games, and you shouldn't.
It's probably a mistake. Yeah, I played a little bit of the Battlefield 4 one. I mean, it was not that great. And then, honestly, Call of Duty's single player experience is, I think, better than, or at least it's more Hollywood blockbuster-ish.
They're all copy and paste, bro.
Yeah, I know it is, but I think they did a better job with Battlefield. Battlefield's multiplayer blows Call of Duty's out of the water, but. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, Heroes in General.
Heroes in Generals. You do there's a lot of cool unlocking. I love the settings of it, and you also will eventually kind of get to choose from. You'll be a tank crewman, or you can be a paratrooper. There's tanks and a lot of different planes in the game. You can also level up to be a sniper eventually, and then eventually you'll get to general. And when you get to general, it means you can kind of control the war that's happening as the game is going. So there's a constant war happening, and you can once you sign in to the game, it'll be like, choose a side. Here's a server. Go into the war. Now, there's like a war map, and it's all of Europe and like the invasion, and you're either United States, Germany, or Soviet Union, and you basically are battling each side to gain control of 12 major cities, and then once that happens, the war ends. So what a general will do is he will set up an assault team or like a squad of like 10 to 15 people, and then find a place on the map where they would fit well. In all the places on the map, the levels are different. I noticed about this. I saw Frankie talking about it, like going back into some of his videos, and he's going like, okay, we're going here, and this bell tower like place is only in this this town in Europe. So the depth of maps in this really opens up as you keep playing it, which I really think is really cool. Like, you're really unlocking as you go. So a general will kind of pick and choose how and where to attack, who's going to be attacking other people, and what their makeup of their team is going to be. I think that's a really, really cool thing. It's not something I've seen in like almost any other first-person shooter that I can think of. where it's kind of like a management thing at the same time, almost like I don't know. It's
almost like an RTS kind of.
Yeah, like a turn-based war, or it is like a real.
Yeah, almost like Shogun or what the hell's the other? Yeah, I know what you mean. Funny because the first-person shooter.
You know, and all those decisions are being made, and then at the same time, you've got the guys actually playing the first-person shooter. The sound in this game is really crisp and like very true to the weapons of the time, I've found, and really good graphics. I mean, not the best. They don't come to the level of Battlefield or Arma for sure, but very solid graphics for a free game. We talked in the video about, I think we should start doing this for free games. You have to kind of evaluate the store or the pay system in the game as well. It's almost like a necessity.
Yeah.
So in this game, you can kind of pay money or for gold, which can unlock certain guns or experience bonus time.
Right.
And I came to the conclusion that it's about a good amount to put in to kind of get you further along and open up a good amount of diversity in terms of the outfits or your kits that you can mess with. Is about $20. It's like the perfect level for me. I don't think I need to do that. Like, I'm happy just kind of going through and unlocking as I go. But if you're a really big first-person shooter fan and want to get into all the variety of the game right away, put about $20 in. That's my kind of recommendation for it. But a really good game. I've been playing that, and then I've also been playing I tried a bunch of 3DS games and didn't like any of them.
Oh boy.
I don't want to. We don't need to spend too much time on
Persona
that.
Q, man.
Damn.
But I wrote a 5 short angry reviews on Gameanon.
You should go to Gameanon.com and check those out.
And you can read it. There was Persona Q. What else was it? Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. Pokemon, yes. Alpha Sapphire, that's correct. The remake. I should go look at it.
Gameanon.com has a lot of fun things. There's a lot of videos out there you can check out. A lot of the reviews we're talking about have been transcribed into video format.
We have a lot of ads you can click on.
Yeah, click on the ads.
Kidding. That's actually against their terms and service, so I'll retract that statement.
So,
we'll get it in post.
We'll get it in post.
I'm gonna leave it in and highlight it. I'm gonna play over the break.
Do it.
Turn the volume up right there.
We'll fight them, and let's put more unlicensed music that we don't have the rights to play.
It's open. No, it's Creative Commons license. So yes, we do.
Oh no, I'm saying put in some I don't know, put in some Katy Perry or something that we know we can't use.
I mean,
something
I'd love
ridiculous.
To. I really would.
Yeah, I'd love to. Right.
I don't think Katie would be down with it though.
I don't think she would.
Or her lawyers. Maybe she
Send
would.
her an email.
I will.
Right? Let's email her at
right.
katyperry@gmail.com. I'm sure that's her email address.
It probably is.
It probably is.
I'll track it
Hidden in plain sight, right?
Right? Yeah. You wouldn't even think, right? Because you'd think, no, of course she wouldn't be katyperry@gmail.com. But maybe she is.
Or you could hit her up on Facebook, right?
Anyways.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, because it's run by her.
Yeah.
She runs her own Facebook.
I've also been playing the Blackrock expansion in her.
All right, so what are we talking about? So I know where to come back in
just
for
games.
this
He's
massive
playing,
edit.
Blackrock expansion, Hearthstone. Pretty cool shit, actually.
Good stuff.
It is good stuff,
I'm liking it. I'm liking this. They have an added solo adventure in another free game where you could unlock new content just by playing the game. Like, you can technically pay for this, $25, or you can just give them the gold you earn from playing the game.
Which encourages you to play their game more. Right. So it's almost like a beautiful... They've done it you don't want to pay for it? Well,
just keep
sink
playing.
your fucking life into our game. And it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Man.
I'd love to because you make your games good. Yeah. Blizzards and again...
I think it's funny how
they're amazing,
even from just a year ago, how when we started talking about this concept of pay to play or whatever,
Yeah.
how now we're almost not necessarily embracing it, but we're talking about it like we're used to it and that we're okay with it. It's like, oh yeah, they're good because they do it like this. Okay, so they're now good for doing this.
Yeah, but Blizzard does it well. They do it really well.
That's the thing. We have to kind of evaluate pay structures in games because they're so diverse.
And things are changing.
How
We have to change
they?
how we talk about them because now it's commonplace. A couple of years ago it wasn't. It was weird.
I don't mind getting free
okay.
games. These playing Firefall and Heroes and Generals and Hearthstone. I don't mind
Heroes,
getting a free game to try it out. I really don't.
Yeah,
no one does, but people don't make money.
If I really feel like giving you
problem.
$7 for an Arthas skin, sure, I will.
Have they made more money because they gave it away for free to begin with? It got popular.
Right.
This is how so many people,
it's a good way to advertise to get your shit going. Hand it out.
I'm just saying.
They do it really well. Blizzard does it really well. It doesn't feel like It doesn't feel like they're fucking getting you.
It's
you know?
no, well, it's like when the new drug dealer comes to town. Like he's working the corner. He's like,
what's that like?
Hey, he's like, well, he comes up. You walk up to him. He's like, hey, what up, man? He's like, yeah, I'm new on the block. My name is like, we'll call him T, right? And so he's like, my name's T. Here, and he's like, here, try this shit out. It's on the house. It's a little baggy, little bump, little nothing cool. And so you get a taste of it. So then you come back. You're like, hey, man, that shit was good. Give me some more of that crack. Same thing in Hearthstone. Yeah, They gave us a free sample, and it was good. It was real good. And then you know what? They released new decks to the back of their fucking card decks,
but
for $10, or however much it is.
Pre-order,
for pre-orders or whatever.
That was a pre-order.
All I'm saying is they know what they're doing.
Yeah, of course they do, and they're doing it well, and it makes you feel comfortable when they're asking you for their money.
Oh yeah,
that's the most important.
It's like asking permission before someone butt fucks you. It's like, yeah, okay.
At least they're asking. Because most other companies.
Thanks for offering a pillow for me to bite. It's like the consideracy.
EA doesn't ask you. He doesn't ask you. At least Blizzard asks.
Maybe.
Thanks, Blizzard.
Blizzard even, but I tweeted about this a couple weeks ago where I'm tired of people referring to things that are free that you're clearly paying for.
Right.
And Blizzard did that with this Hearthstone card back. They're like, free card back with this $25 pre-order. Why do you even say free? Of course it's not free. There's no other way to get it than by buying. It's not free.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they're not innocent
it comes with
all.
it.
Yeah.
It comes with it.
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know. Fucking Blizzard.
It offends me.
It's like a car salesman saying free tires with your car.
Well, yeah,
that one's got free tires.
About marketing, so anyway.
Well, they're doing it right.
They're doing it right, and I stand behind their products, and I think they're of the top tier, and I think that they're they make a quality game, no matter what. I still think so. Until Overwatch comes out, and hopefully it doesn't bomb. Then if it does, it's gonna be like, oh, you lost it, Blizzard.
They're not.
But we'll see.
Have they bombed yet?
Yeah.
Well, not yet.
When was the
There's
last
always
time?
Diablo 3.
Look at it now, though. Look how much it sold and the expansion.
They finally figured it out, but it
took a long time.
It's almost more sad the fact that they thought like that at one point. Oh, real life auction house? Yeah, totally, great idea. But that's another discussion for another time.
Anyways,
what other games?
Finally, Gunner, first impressions, Bloodborne.
Bloodborne, little game that everybody knows about.
Some say a challenge, some say it's a copy. What is it?
Oh, jeez. It's a little bit of both.
Is it a challenging copy?
Well,
of Dark
it's
Souls?
Interesting because we have the two brothers in the room who have two very different opinions.
Zach, do you want to
Yeah, this is
something.
No, I don't have much to say.
No, Michael pick you up.
I played 20 minutes. It's the same game. I think it was initially in development as an expansion for Dark Souls 2.
I mean, regardless,
but they just came out with an expansion, so it
they just came out
right?
with they just remastered.
But you're saying it's mostly a copy and paste of Dark Souls 2, correct?
Mostly, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Except the fact that the combat is much more streamlined.
Armor, that's not really true.
But that's armor-wise, but that stuff's it's not as significant. So anybody who's played really the Dark Souls series, or at least Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 and 2. There's many different kinds of armor. There's many different weapons. In Bloodborne, they really boil it down to when you find armor, you can buy it. But when you find it, it's you really go with a set. It's not like a individual piece. And weapons, there's only 3 different kinds of weapons. Or there's a couple more. But they took back a lot of what they did in Dark Souls 1 and 2. And they brought in just basic 3 different kinds or 4 different kinds of weapon. It's different play styles. So they kind of boiled it down so that you don't have to worry about getting said weapon or whatever.
So it's a simplified Dark Souls 2.
Somewhat, but it's also from what I've heard and what I've played, it's significantly harder than Dark Souls 2. It's harder than Dark Souls 2, I guarantee it. But
I don't know, dude. Felt pretty much the same to me.
I mean, maybe you're just
some
good
of the
too.
bosses are probably harder because they've had all these years since Dark Souls 2 to be like, hey, let's make a cooler boss. Sure, yeah. I mean, I bet you the expansion bosses in Dark Souls 2 are probably harder than those bosses.
Their boss design is
I wouldn't know because I'm not going to give them any more money.
Well, I think the entire appeal of this game for me and a lot of people is the setting that it's in. It's in this very film noir, very evil horror genre.
London.
And
Gothic London,
that's like what's the most interesting part about it. Is there
That was
enemy
me too.
design, the level design, sound design?
Yeah, I mean
all
the
that
sounds.
stuff, right?
The sounds are really amazing. They have this one specific enemy that really speaks. That really I think of immediately when you said that sound was they're crows, and they're enormous crows, like the size of you, but they don't fly in the air. They're on the ground, and they lay on the ground. They kind of like do this like weird crawl, but then
Like a chicken dance?
I guess I don't know what a chicken dance is, but yeah.
crow dance.
They like a crow dance. So they crow dance on the floor for just a little bit, but for the most part they're docile. They just sit there. And part of the appeal to Dark Souls and Bloodborne is, which they do a really awesome job at scaring the shit out of you, is they place them sometimes in areas where either it's too dark to see them because they're crows and they're black, or they put them in places where you wouldn't expect them to come out, like they'll drop down on you or whatever.
Like from the sky?
Or from like a ledge, because they do only have they almost fly like chickens. It's funny you say that because they only go for a little bit and then they fall.
So they like
But
hide in the shadows.
they make this awful fucking noise that is just it's this like ghoulish fucking like scream, and it's terrifying what they do. And they come at you, and they're really easy to kill. But it's the whole shock value of them that really fucking gets me. And like, there's plenty of times where I walked and I didn't even notice they were there because they don't make any noise until like you're like close, and you don't see one around the corner, and it's like makes this fucking like awful noise and like screeches at you and jumps at you, and it's fucking terrifying. And if you're not careful, they can rape the shit out of you and tear your health down. So I mean, it's like sound amazing. The graphics, I mean, it's a gorgeous game. Really pretty. It's like a gothic London, back in like 1800s, 1700s, or whatever, But I love it. And enemy design, I guess, yeah, it's also similar to Dark Souls in the sense that it's melee weapons. It's how much deeper can you get? I mean, someone's going to swing a sword at you. You can't innovate that. It's not going to be what are you going to say? Dark Souls does it better because that guy swings his sword better? I mean, he's coming at you, bro. It's like, well, okay. Like there's certain things, yes, that there's
comparing
Zach,
apples
do you
and
think you
apples.
didn't play quite enough of it to really judge the depth of inventory? And
because
everything?
the difference is
there's more though. I played
in Dark Souls 2. There's all these weapons you can get, and each style of fighting is different, and then you can get all these different weapons until you find one you really like. But in Bloodborne, you just get the 2 weapons. That's it.
But it feels nicer because I don't need to worry.
But it's the same style of tech. So here's what makes it boring, in my opinion. You're not ever relearning your timing. You know what I mean?
You're not. You know what you're doing.
Once you fight a mob, you know how to fight a mob.
Right, but that's the same in Dark Souls. I mean, you basically know.
But when you get a different weapon,
it changes. Yeah.
Somewhat you can get all. You can actually get all 3 weapons in Bloodborne. You can actually unlock all. There's a way to get all 3 of the original.
Well, you saying all 3?
Or there's 4. There's another. I know, and there might even be more. I'd have to fact check this, but they differ significantly. Like the axe is like the slower, stronger weapon. The saw is the quicker, weaker weapon. The whip is the very fast weapon, but significantly weaker one. And then there's a hammer that's even stronger, but it's significantly slower. Like there's diversity enough there where I wasn't like, oh, I wish they had more weapons, because there's other. I'm not worried about my weapon. There's other shit to worry about. I need to worry about how the fuck I'm going to get to this one boss. I can't even make it from point A to point B because I'm trying to map out.
So they're trying to make you
every
focus more
fucking
on
movement.
like your strategy versus
it's more focused on your strategy.
Fighting or mechanics.
But then too, they don't. It's not like today's fucking Gears of War, Halo, or whatever, or any sort of modern fucking game where it's like, hey, we're going to tell you how to play it as you go through, and this is how you do it. Here's and we're gonna like feed you all the way through. You're gonna learn. It's like, no, they drop you in. It's like, here you go. And there's stuff you miss, crucial items you can miss, but you can, if you're skilled enough, you can continue along without them. You don't need it. There's stuff that they hide that makes other encounters easier or whatever, but they don't. They don't. It encourages exploration. It encourages you to like really explore your game world instead of following the fucking point. Like in Dead Space, you can hit R3 and he literally pops up and shows you the way to go to your objective. Right. Or any Call of Duty game or any whatever. It's not like that. It is basically like, here's the world that we built. And the second you can control that character, here's the world that we built, figure it the fuck out. We're not going to tell you where to go. talk to NPCs, you know, if you want to get some extra story or where to go. Like, that's it. That's it.
Is it the type of game where if you accidentally miss an NPC, are you screwed then? Will you start wandering through?
No. You can somebody beat the entire game without leveling up one time, and that feat is an incredible feat of strength.
So leveling must give you nothing.
No, it's incredibly crucial. This guy is a fucking champion. I mean, but it's possible. It's possible, but it's extremely difficult. You know what I mean? There's always going to be one guy who fucking does something.
Like with glitches, or he legit did
No,
it?
he legitimately did it. There are some glitches in there that can like help you get past certain parts, but you're also too low to the part you glitch to, so your chances of survival are slimmer. But it really is, it's skill based, and it's also, you know, with a lot of the enemies that, like Zach said when we were on the break there, it's, you know, you learn from your death. You accept the death, and then you have to learn from it. Because if you're not going to learn, then you're in a lot of trouble. You're going to continue to fail. So it's like you're kind of learning their systems as you go, but it's almost more a test of your own. You know, the whole game is just a
you got
test
to
of
pay
your own
attention
ability.
to every little thing.
Yeah.
How badly do they punish you for dying? I know in terms of between this game and Dark Souls.
Well, it's exactly the same as Dark Souls. Where Dark Souls, you get souls from killing the enemies, and those souls are spent on items and they're dark, and they're spent on leveling you up. Bloodborne, they're called blood echoes.
Oh.
No, you don't get borns; you get blood echoes. Good attempt though. So then once you die, you lose them. Now, when you restart at the lantern, or in Dark Souls' case, it's campfire, you have to get to that said point to get them back, to get all of what you made. But if you die on the way there, you lose. They go away. So but the one thing Bloodborne does that's really interesting is once you die, there's a chance that the enemies can pick them up. Whereas in Dark Souls, wherever you died, right in that exact spot is where your souls would be. And okay, I gotta make it back to this point. I'll get my souls back, and I'll be okay.
This is even harder.
But the enemies can take them, and you see their eyes glow.
You have to kill the enemy to get it back.
Kill the enemy to get them, and sometimes it's a ridiculous hard.
What if you die?
If you die, you lose all those souls. So if you amassed a ton of souls and you farmed all these guys and you killed them, and that guy kills you, you're done.
How do you utilize these souls before you lose them all?
You would go back to the Hunter's Dream, the quest hub, or not quest hub, but like the kind of hub where you buy stuff, upgrade stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you spend those, you know, for that. Very similar to Dark Souls, you know, in that sense. But so it's challenging, and it makes death. Just the fact of dying is punishing. It's not, they don't punish you with like a ridiculous like, oh, your health is half now, or you're something, here's your penalty. No, they don't give you a penalty besides taking the blood echoes. But it's just the feeling that like I fucking failed. Now I have to figure out how I'm gonna get back there, and you know what I mean. It's like you've almost like punished yourself.
It's almost like
really.
when you die, it's even like a bigger punishment because it's not like you die and you're set back. You die and then you gotta get back
to where you were.
Then
continue. Yeah, right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. The punishment is simply the death, and that is, and then that is driven home by the fact that you just failed. You failed. And now that it hurts even more because it's like I fucked up, and now I'm paying for it. You know.
So I'm assuming you haven't died at all. This is.
I've died 1,000 times. I probably died, especially in the beginning, because you can't level up until you get one insight, and getting an insight's another story for another time. But yeah, it's hard. But the victory, the feeling when you are victorious is so great.
Yeah, that's what makes it worth it.
It makes it so worth it. And beating a boss, it's just like you feel like a champion.
I'm looking forward to getting into it.
You have it.
I know.
You do have it. It's good, man. I don't know. I see Zach's comparisons with Dark Souls, and obviously, but it's the same company, and I'm not going to knock it for being so similar to Dark Souls because.
Do you like the music? Do you like the story?
Oh, it's beautiful. The music's amazing. The story is awesome, but too what they do with what they did in Dark Souls too. It's like you have to look for it. You have to, if you really want to get a lot out of the story. From what I've heard too, the Dark Souls or the Bloodborne story is actually like a lot better and a lot more like solid and driven than Dark Souls story's ever been. And Bloodborne does some really interesting stuff with religion and whatever, and they really like make some good points throughout the game. But again, that's stuff you have to sometimes look for. Some stuff's required, cool, obviously, but it's I don't know.
Okay.
I'm excited.
I apologize for having bought it Tuesday and now it's Sunday. I still haven't played it. But
you've been playing Heroes in general. So
we've been playing a lot of other games, and we've been doing the YouTube thing. I'm going to have a video soon for Mark of the Ninja.
Game looks pretty cool.
I could kind of mention it a little bit, but it's very similar to Gunpoint. It's basically like Gunpoint is with a ninja setting, and you get a few other items right away, I think, and they're kind of unlocked instead of bought, or they're kind of found instead of bought. But it's very similar. Like there's combat, but it's mostly stealth based.
Yeah,
and you
great
want
stealth system.
Puzzle, very tough, very challenging game right away. And I like that the better you do, you can unlock more of the story. There's challenges, global leaderboards, and for any game now is awesome. I think. Yeah, I mean, having the point system in there and
That's pretty cool.
seeing who's a boss.
It's nice to know how good you are.
I like seeing,
or how shitty you are.
Well, it's just like that too, but it's like a throwback to seeing, the old arcade machines where you could put in your initials if you got a high score.
You saw everyone in town.
And you see that one guy on top. It's like, that motherfucker, how the hell did you do that?
Who he is, and you're going to track him down and beat him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's always some douchebag.
You don't know. It's probably the game developer.
Nowadays, yeah.
Do they have hacks back in
just
arcade
like
games?
put his initials up top, fucking douche.
AAA.
Well,
yeah. That fucking guy. But no, it was pretty cool.
I recommend the game, and I'll get into it a little bit more maybe next episode.
Stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
One last thing before we stop today that I can think of is big announcement or big happening for me.
You're pregnant?
Well, no.
Well, that's good.
But
that would be weird.
It's kind of a weird thing like Halo. You guys know this game, right?
Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it.
There's been...
It's like Destiny, right? They ripped off Destiny?
Yeah, it's a copy of Destiny.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
So
with Peter Dinklage.
The first Halo was released on PC back in the early 2000s. Then people were able to mod eventually and get a weird working version of Halo 3 on PC, kind of. I'm not sure if that's still a thing or not.
I know Halo 2 was the last official PC one, yeah. And then, like you're saying, 3, I think, was the...
I don't know if 2 was. I don't think it was.
No, maybe.
But I don't think 3 was an official thing either.
No,
I think
3 wasn't.
I think it was like a hack job, basically.
Yeah.
And what's announced now is Halo Online, which is something 343
Russia edition?
Supposedly developed. They put out the online PC game in Russia for beta testing, an online short thing. And it looked very similar. It looked like they had added some sort of skin stuff that was similar to Halo 4 and Halo Reach.
So instead of Master Chief, is it Putin? Master Putin?
I mean, could be. Anyway, this is kind of a big deal because it's always that one game that I wish was on PC, especially now that I don't have an Xbox anymore. And it's the only game that would have made me want to buy an Xbox One. If I can buy a Halo game for PC, I will never ever even consider buying an Xbox One. There would be literally no reason to whatsoever for me.
Yeah, Microsoft will pay too much money to not put it on their Windows platform.
Why are they developing a game and putting it on beta if they're not planning on releasing it for PC, though?
Yeah. What do you mean? What, the Halo 5 beta?
No, I mean this Halo
Online.
the
Halo Now, or the Halo Online thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows what their plans are?
Is it a legitimate copy? Or
there was a legitimate... The legitimate version is in Russia live. And now, supposedly, what happened is some hacker or some thief basically went in, got the code, and is planning on doing a mod version or code, similar coded version that can be released for whatever. The specifics are really hazy at this point, and I don't know what's going to happen to this guy. He thinks he's going to take on Microsoft. But
Bill Gates, I don't see Bill Gates being very happy about this.
Well, it's not Bill Gates anymore. He's way out of there.
Bill Gates doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Bill
The guy
Gates
who
has
just stepped up
billions of
to...
dollars.
Nadal.
The Bone.
Probably owns an island.
Mr. Bone.
Sir Bone.
Sir Bones.
Sir Bones a lot. Yeah, that's the leader of Microsoft, I think. Anyway, a game we will be following. I'm interested in Halo coming to PC. I'm very interested in that.
Well,
there's a Halo 3 engine, as I'm reading here. So it's a modified Halo 3 engine.
But with these models, probably
is
updated models.
Yeah, spring capabilities.
Yep.
Cool. What else we got?
Sorry, that's about it. That's all I got.
That sounds exciting. I'm going to have dreams of that.
I know. You
Russia
care
only.
so much about Halo and Halo Online.
And the Russians.
What do you think about them putting out a beta only in Russia, though? What do you think about that?
I think it's a phony, and it's not legitimate, and it's wishful thinking that Halo will ever be on PC.
Halo 1 is on PC.
But you can play Halo 1 now on Xbox One, so
Right.
nobody gives a shit.
Speaking
It's
of playing
not
console
on
games on
Master
PC,
Chief
have you
Collection.
guys done any more emulators?
Nope.
Yeah, I've been playing. I have been until Bloodborne came out. I've been playing Wind Waker on my.
Do you have anything to
computer.
share about that?
It's a ton of fun. I mean, it's obviously a classic that I can't remember if I beat, but it's a goddamn classic. I'm trying to look through some of the glitches, and there's a really awesome YouTube channel called Son of a Glitch, or it's not the channel name. A+ Start is the channel name, but he does a show called Son of a Glitch, and really incredible stuff there. And Wind Waker's packed full of them, and I kind of want to do some videos on those. Yeah, some really good shit. And but Wind Waker's incredible. Link to the Past, it's really nice. You know, legal standpoints aside, to play those games on my PC, especially, you know, to not own them anymore.
The way I see it, it's Nintendo's own fault. And it's, you know why? Because it's HBO's own fault for not making it easier to get their content through a PC, like an online. It's never mind your there's so many like stupid things about it. Like, why wouldn't they just release it? Why make your own app? If you don't like Steam, make your own app. Fucking EA does it.
Right.
Uplay does
Evolve to the times. There's a whole another market that you could be tapping into.
Right. Just sell it. Sell it online. Sell it, and then I won't have to steal it.
They're making money already. They don't care. They're making the money.
Game of Thrones. If you make it easy for me to pay for, and it's not that expensive, I will pay for it.
They must not have computers over in Japan.
But there is no easy way for me to pay for it because I don't pay for a cable subscription.
They must not.
Pisses me off so much.
I mean,
that's my conclusion.
What, that they don't have computers in Japan?
No computers in Japan.
I don't feel like I'm breaking the law at all because I paid for the game when I was like 14, so I'm still playing.
If there's a disservice happening, then there should be no law that can be broken towards it.
Anyway.
So here's the quick quote here. This is what I'm glad that I found this. How much money Nintendo's worth. And says, here's the exact quote taken from a feature in the latest issue of UK's Nintendo Gamer magazine. Buried in reams of financial data is the revelation that Nintendo has 812 billion yen, which equates to about $10.5 billion, in the bank, enough for it to lose $20 billion a year, 20 billion yen, which is $257 million every year until 2052, and they would still be okay. So Nintendo has really, it's almost like, if you flip it, like, it would be like Apple.
I wouldn't
if
call
Apple,
them
like,
losing that much money, though, by then.
No, okay. They won't. No, it's not okay, but I'm saying, like, they're enough of a powerhouse just like Apple is. Like, if the Apple Watch, which is already not failing, if it was to fail, like, Apple could obviously survive for many, many years to come. Like, they're that big, and Nintendo is that big. Whereas there's many big developing or publishing studios, you know, or EA or Ubisoft, companies that couldn't handle that loss, you know? And it's like, well...
That's not an excuse for not putting your game out on PC. Period.
Okay. I mean, that's... Yeah, I get... Okay, you're right, I guess. But
thank you.
That's another, like, fine. Like, fine. But even still, I find myself playing Wind Waker on a PS4 controller only because I can't hook up a fucking GameCube controller to my computer. That's the only reason. Like, still, I'm gonna play Nintendo stuff on Nintendo hardware. Like, I would hate to play fucking Wind Waker on a keyboard. It'd be a fucking nightmare. And on a PS4 controller, it sucks too. But no, it doesn't suck, but it's not as good as if you had a legitimate GameCube. Yeah, I'd have keybound.
I prefer the PlayStation 4 controller to the GameCube controller. I'm going to come right out and say it.
Of course I do. But when it comes to playing games that I've played on GameCube, I'd prefer to play them on GameCube controllers.
You'll remember.
You just missed the GameCube. I've got mine.
Of course I do. I have 2 GameCubes.
You have both of mine.
I have one of yours. I have one of mine.
One of mine, okay.
And I have your N64.
Let's get our GameCubes together and, like...
Can we do
have a fucking Mario party?
Do a photo shoot?
Jesus Christ, can we just have a live stream? Drunken live stream Mario party. Let's fucking do it.
No, we could, because we watched the video. We watched the Honest Game trailer of Mario Party, and it told me I would instantly hate you both and want to kill you.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's fine. Let's get some competitive action here. I mean,
there's guns here.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Let's have our own Mario party.
I'm just going to slowly a Mario party. Leave the room right now.
Anyways, on that note.
Keep
on.
We won't kill each other.
No. Plugs? Anyone?
Keep on plugs.
Gameanon?
Keep on plugs.
Gameanon.com?
Gamer Music, Aaron.
Oh, had to do it. Had to do it.
Where's she at, dude?
Always on our minds.
She's not on Twitter anymore.
What?
She's got a boyfriend.
Did she deactivate her account?
A girl that we talked games about for a long time. And gaming music.
We'll get her back on the show.
She got a boyfriend.
We'll
and now,
do it.
Now we never hear from her.
Janae, I know. Shout out to her. Their
Shout out
podcast
to
is
Tank
returning.
TANC podcast.
Are they turning back on?
Strength
their
in Games?
podcast?
They're turning their podcast back on.
Good for them.
Nice, good.
Yeah, she's apparently drinking a summer shandy. It was 15 hours ago.
15 hours ago. She's
But
quite drunk.
yeah. So
By now, yeah.
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 I don't know. Yeah, we'll have some special. It's been a long time since we've had a guest, so I think it's about time.
I feel we're a little more comfortable with the technology at hand, and maybe we can make it happen.
Yeah, I think we are. We've
Maybe
come
we've
a long
evolved.
way.
Have we evolved a little
I think
bit?
we're
I hope
evolved
so.
enough to handle it. I
Okay.
think we can now handle a guest. But
Anyways,
yeah.
The time is now, gentlemen. See you next time. Thanks
see
for
you
joining
next
us.
Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. What does that mean?
And as always, keep on.
Gameanon.